Alright, today I am making a video on how to work on the Shark RV900 series. We'll be changing out cliff sensors today, which is error 7. I've opened it up and this unit has been repaired. I want to show you guys how I did it, because as I was looking at YouTube's today, I found that there was really no video I found to be high enough quality for this, so please forgive the terrible audio, but hopefully we'll be able to get good visuals on what we need to do. First, we'll remove this bin. Quite easy to remove. Just going to remove our brush. This lifts out lovely. Next, I'm going to take a T15. This is a hyper tough ratcheting. That's a, let's see, Rex Betty T15. We'll need this later on when we get down into the deep recesses. These wheels need to come out. It will take a little bit of time. There are 4 screws, or 3 screws I should say, for each. But they'll lift out quite well, and we can see a little bit more what we're doing, which is always a plus. Not quite done. Sorry about that arm there. Huh, that's why I won't remove. I was right the first time. There are 4. Right here was eluding me. That one right there. Always nice to have a second set of eyes on this. Glad you guys are watching me. Oh, there are 5. My word. That's right. There we go. You see how simple that is? Nice and easy. Take this and I rotate it out so I can get a nice straight shot here. Let's get this out first. Sorry, it's always more fidgety than I expect. To get our thumbnail in, there's a clip on this wire harness. It's a quick wiggle. Oh, this has gotten twisted in, poor guy. How do we remove this without damaging the wires? There we go, carefully unthread. Must be how it happened in the first place. Okay. Sorry, there was not good visual on that, but where the wires were tucked behind our clip there. I'm gonna set this to the side as well. Hopefully, I'll be able to get you guys a better sight on this one. Move, the top right needs to come out. Front right wasn't quite on the way. Okay, yeah, that's better. So, there we go. There you guys can see a bit better. Wanted to get this clip here. Let's see if we can change our view. Get fingertip in there, nail in there. Tricky. There we go. Okay. These robot vacuums get so much hair in places. Okay. Next up, leave, say, hex 2. guys can't see that. Okay. Right here, another hex 2 for this brush. Go straight off of the square. I'm going to leave the tiny screws in there. While we go ahead and while we have our hex 2, let's go ahead and change. I'm going to lift up so I don't scratch the surface. Turn around so hopefully we can see a bit better here. This is a Mark G. You probably can't tell because my terrible handwriting. That was a Mark that we still had a good infrared LED there on the old cliff sensor. I'll put all the small screws up here. Okay, we can take a look. I'm gonna switch better so we have a better picture. None of our fisheye going on. There are small locking tabs. I'm gonna start on one side and lift carefully up. I'm gonna set this to the side. Now, on the previous Shark series, one more camera change. This would have a clip, a wire harness. This one does not lift straight out. We can see here the first of our cliff sensors, and here's the second. But as you can probably tell, these two are recessed more deeply, so this cover is going to have to come off. Back to our trusty T15. One there, maybe at least one here. There's actually one underneath the brush. Yeah, and some here. Now these are holding the bottom to the top. See, I doubt I got them all. Oh, I did! Congratulations! Okay. Thank you guys again. Wow. Sometimes it's nice to have an audience now. Check this out. And we can take a look at the board we're gonna have to remove. There are so many things to be careful with. We have our switch, our power button. Goes over here on this side. And that slips right on here. I don't know why I'm covering that up. We're going to get into that in a second. Just a little OCD moment. T15 can go right here. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. It's not so bad. We're going to carefully set our top. Actually, let's do back here. You beauty. Okay. This is a corresponding trim piece that goes on currently our right side. That can go here. Theoretically. There we go. We'll want that in place for later. Now, where were you? Beautiful. Okay, let's see if we can zoom. You probably saw already, but this weight came out earlier when I was disassembling it as I was practicing this repair. So it could hopefully make you guys a slightly better video than if we were following along for the first time together. Now, these screws, if removed, will merely remove this back plate here. And this has a kind of a complicated hookup here. I found that I was able to get it done just by setting it to the side. I didn't want to remove this wire harness because we have this secondary sensor back here, this clip. which I didn't feel I wanted to add to this particular job. So I just went ahead and set it to the side. Now, none of us, well, certainly I do not. I do not like removing boards when I do not have to. Sadly, this board does have to be removed. We can switch again. I'll pan you guys. Sorry, I hate to do this for motion sickness stuff, but perhaps better than nothing. We want to untuck our sensors. We know we have one here, so we're going to untuck these. They are untucked. So we'll have to come out later. We know that. These can be undone. This harness will be referenced a lot. All of our stuff goes up front. Move this T15 and this one. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Talking to myself. Okay, so we're gonna remove these small Phillips. There are gonna be 3 that are holding the board down just by themselves. I did that. Okay. Sorry for the flashes there. Let's make another one for this touch tab, if you will. It's actually what makes your clicking noise when it hits an obstacle. A couple more pans. Sorry about that, guys. Come down here. Put a big fat hand out of the way. I'm trying to remove this one. We should have 2 more. This is a hyper tough stubby number 2 Phillips, and I found that it worked better on these than any of my precision screwdriver bits. So just a Phillips number 2, nice and standard. Okay, but now we're going to be getting back to a precision Phillips. As we take off our hex 2. Leave Phillips 1 will do us here. Yes, Phillips 1. Quite good. Now, 2 are going to be straightforward to get to. Put those in the middle. One handy thing I've been doing, if I have any questions later on, I could follow up my own video. Now, there's a small board. Let's see, I am free, no obstacles. I'm moving that power button again. There's a small board, angle you guys out, connected by this Phillips here. There's going to be a tab here and a tab there, one bigger side, one smaller side. It'll be easy enough to remove. So we're going to go ahead and undo our cliff sensor main wire. And I think this is some kind of driver to the infrared LED. We're going to move that, but not take it too far away. I'm just going to let the natural bend in the wire, that material memory, not muscle memory, so to speak, keep it where it goes so I don't get confused. Lift this one up, put it in our pile of small screws. Rotate our assembly over and do the same thing on the other side here. Be a small, unhooked. Yep, go ahead and unplug. Small Phillips. Now, I have already made this repair, so I won't be demonstrating how it's done on all of our cliff sensors, but I will be showing on one of the more complicated at the very least. Okay, so once again, we have small tabs here that correspond and match along, so we're going to take one side and get it started. And follow along and take this off. We have little tabbies here that hold our wire harness. There we go. Now this tab on mine is really flexible. I'd hate to steer you guys wrong and say you can flex them all you want without fear of breaking, but these again were really flexible. That is one design feature that I'll say I'm really happy with. On this model is the flexibility of the tabs. I'm going to set this aside as well. So now we're to the main thing. Everything we need should be right here. But this is where filming becomes even tougher now that I think about it. So I can show you guys where our main sore spots are. So let's find some good lighting as we can. These are 2 cliff sensors. They tuck underneath the board, which is why we had to lift it up. The good news is it's not terribly complicated. What I did, and I like doing it this way, is finding our tab here. So one of our removable tabs, let's pivot, get that glare off as much as we can. It's going to have a sensor that looks like a bead with an X on it. That's going to lift straight up. This, and as I was removing the old sensors, I put them in the container that the new sensors came in. Now all of these harnesses are different, so we know that this is going to be the guy that we want. We see our bead with an X. If someone knows what this sensor is, it'd be great if you could enlighten me just for the sake of it, but I assume it's like a cornering sensor. So what I did was I removed it from this shaft. Zoom in a bit. And I immediately oriented and put the new one in. Sorry, again, let's zoom and move as much as we can. I'll try to get you guys as good video as I can on my phone. I'm gonna put our sensor in. We're gonna trail back along with our wire here. What I did was I removed this red wire, and I had my screwdriver just lift up on this tab carefully, get our red out, move our bundle and jumble other wires, and I had my end free. And I traced it along with the rest of the board to find the harness that it went to. And then I reversed this. I tucked my red wire back in, my multicolored wire back in. I undid this harness like so, and plugged. So I'll give you guys a better video. He says, and then just puts his hand in the way. I'm following along with the video, sorry. And then found out which cliff sensor this was. Lifted up and followed along. So that, was this correct? Yes, it is. I was able to simply lift up on this cliff sensor, and then this one will pull straight out. Now, this is our good cliff sensor. So I'm actually going to show you that process one more time as I reinstall the good cliff sensor. So, I'm going to go through here, lift up on our sensor in the tower, orient it out so our blackish bead is facing out. It's not really a good video at the moment, but I got you guys, I think, that footage earlier. I'm gonna tuck our red wire in first. I did this because it's nice and sturdy, this red wire. These are thinner wires, I believe. I'm gonna take this multicolored, tuck it through. Yeah, you guys can still see that. Undo this harness. Put our guy right here where he goes. Yeah, well, I've already removed him. So he will then, let's see, tuck under. All the way through and clip quite nicely into his home. Now everything's going to be lined up again, which we love, but there are some helpful aligning tabs. This post here has a corresponding hole right about there. I'm going to zoom out because it's going to take some fidgeting I'm going to get everything back where it goes. Now, before we align this, we're going to do the same. We would have done the same thing with our other sensor right about here. If that is in fact, we can follow the harnesses back everywhere else. This is one of our tabs here. We want to get our little board back where he goes, because it'll actually be going back. So this, I'm thinking through, I hope I did that right. Can go over. These sensors are all the junk ones. I'm gonna put them back in the bag before I get confused again. Yeah, fancy bag. I know. Okay. Want our wire harness rig back again. Now we're gonna. I should show you guys actually this real quick. I guess if I was doing this more professionally, I should just go ahead and remove the top. I'll make a better video for you guys. I really didn't want to, but I think it's gonna be best, all things considered. One moment, please. Sorry. Okay, let's just set this aside, and we'll think about that in a second. This is our power button again. We have cliff sensor right here that has a home that actually might be the hardest to video. Turn this over. That weight fell out again. Are we? Yeah, we're basically in frame. Other videos has had it being pried out, which may be the best we get actually, but we want that as close as we can get. Like this going through there. Yeah, that's a nice tuck. You can see here on this other side, we are actually quite stiff there, which is good. But doing it this way by removing the board first, we can actually get a nice slide out, which I think is the way it should be done. Actually, if I were more active, not so lazy, I think, yes, there we go. Sorry. We have a little black tab from the top that our other sensors go into. It should lift straight off when we lifted the motherboard out, or the main board. I'm not sure what Shark calls it. Okay, so let's reorient. I think I switched this around real good now. I'm getting excited. That's a good find. Get this here. Those cliff sensors back in place. Our other board back where he goes. Wow, this is so easy when you do it as we can only assume the manufacturer would wish us to. Forgive me if this is something you already know, but I find it quite helpful to think about this system as if I were the designer. If I was building something and I wanted to work on it, I had people in my factories and not just machines. If I wanted any of my technicians in the field to be able to work on this, if I was the Shark company, how would I want it to be? What would have to be set up in order for human beings to be able to work on stuff like this? And tabs are one of those. I'm going to try to move efficiently in this last little bit. I hope this video is helpful to you guys. I'm going to show you my my attempt at putting it back together. Know that there are alignments here which are attached to springs. I can only assume this is some kind of ferrous material as a sensor. I'm not sure. So bear with me as I try to fidget and fiddle him back into place. This looks like it should be correct. Alignment tabs. We have wires in the way. That's one side. Good. Oh, starting to click in. And I don't think I should just yet. Make sure that I'm clear. That alignment is in place. Okay. Wires are clear. Wires are clear. Let's start tucking these guys back in. I'm going to undo. Actually, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You guys can see this process as much as I can, because I've got to get my hands there. Undo our sturdiest of wires here. Put that in. I should probably put that in last, actually, now that I think about it. Undo, so we have room to work with. These sensors are going to come through. Then we're going to get our next sturdiest but longest. Like that. Our sturdiest and shortest. Use that to tuck back these others. Yeah, looks kind of like it did from the factory. This board is going to be plugged back in, so let's go ahead and take, remember where we put our smallest ones. It's time to switch back to our Hex 2. I will try to put this in the description, but I do not, oh, it's Phillips 1. I should have left it, I'm sorry. Phillips 1 for these pieces here. It didn't miraculously change on us, which is good. I'm gonna get this lined up and put down. Let's go ahead and plug the sensor in before I forget about it. I do that sometimes. It's a fidgety bit here. Again, I use my nail. We had my spudgers, and I should be using those, but I am not quite dexterous enough with those. I'm not particularly dexterous with my digits. I'm squinting like an old man over here. You could see that too. It'd be quite comical, I assume. Do I have this the wrong way around? Doesn't look like I do. Wow. Quite tricky. Yes, indeed. It helps if you put it in the right way around. So, there is a small channel, which you'll see in person, but I want to show you now while I can, because why not? That's what the videos are for. Angle you down a bit. Give me a small channel here. I'm going to tuck in that loop and that one right there. Okay. Sorry, going to be a couple more camera adjustments. Back to one. Weight fell out again. So I assume Shark has it there for a reason. Let's hope it's for some like balancing, making it weigh the same on both sides because we have a chunky motor here. Well, I hope that air conditioner is not too loud for y'all. But there we go. One more screw in. We have 2 more to go. Not bad. Let's back up a bit. So don't lose focus. You guys know what to do by now, but it can be nice to have another video. Let's process. That is not a hole. That's why. This one is a hole, though. Boop. There we go. A quick double check that I got this correct, and it's looking like I do. Yeah, we want to. Ooh, I just cut off my own line. My thumb, or not my thumb, my finger. That's not bad. We'll be securing that here soon. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Okay. Then that's more cliff sensor. Now, zooming in again. There are tabs here to put this wire through. He will go back with his other wiry friends here in a moment. Tucked in down here, around this edge, then fed in there. Actually, let's put, don't do that. Put his friends in first. So I make use of the slack in this tab, so I can put them in the unused tabs, or tab, singular. Boom. Okay. I will have to do a double check here, because all these fiddly bits ought to be pressed down. And then these will need to go back in their clip here. I'm gonna loop this a bit. That's good and out of the way. Our power button is in place. Yeah, so the power button goes over another one of our beady little tabs, sensors, I hope. And then there is, there we go, a channel here that goes right over that sensor. The tabs on the side, a bit behind. Before I forget about it, like I did first time, we're gonna take our corresponding non-power side tab, put it in. Looks like it. I'm gonna lift up so I don't scratch the surface. And I'm glad I looked because this was not quite lined up. Okay, we're secure and secure. So now we can start putting our Phillips screws back in. And number 2, so we use our stubby. I'm gonna use my stubby. You can use your own. When I was doing this the first time, it was helpful to have had a picture of before and after. Well, not so much the after, I'm looking at the after. But it's nice to know where the silver screws went back because 3 of them are pretty obvious, the ones that go on the board are very near it. But I lost an idea of where the others should go. And we find them plastic tabs around our other trim piece. There we go. Now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and tuck these back in. Actually, perhaps I shall start with the biggest one, and then do the smaller one. Quick check that all of our harnesses are back in. He is in, but this wire harness is not positioned properly. I want to be sure when I go to do assembly later on that all my wires are tucked neatly out of the way. I can go back, get him tucked in. And through, and through, locked in at home. Let's go ahead and tuck, place that there. Always helpful, find little channels and grooves where it looks like things belong. Perhaps this belongs here. Yes, let's place these behind that. Secure our tabs. Put our cover back on. This little connector goes in the back. Okay, secure. Yeah, that was not so hard in comparison to the rest of this assembly. It's helpful. We have a viewing hole for our some kind of sensor or light there. Let's get this back home. Trusty screwdriver. Come on now. There we go. And then, man, there's so many little wires to make sure they're doing okay. It's actually kind of relaxing. A Zen Pebble Garden. Perhaps this would be simpler done this way. Yes, perhaps that's what it was meant for. Yes, that seems more sensible. Yeah, that's probably better. Okay, but point 1 is secure, point 2 is secure. I'm going to rush this bit, but all of these look like they are in. 2 cliff sensor boards there. Let's tuck this back. And more lining up of tabs and various sundry articles. We have our trusty light up front to help us. Ah, yes. That's how I would suggest doing it. Let's start from this light and this tab. Put that side in first. Wouldn't it be hilarious if it didn't go back together now that I suggested how to start? Oh, let's get this. Always gotta be something. This tab goes here. That wire can slip deftly. Let's make sure. If we actually want to tuck this on the other side. Yeah, because we have, I'm not sure if you can see, there's a small post there that the screws will actually go into. This is good. That's clipped. Why is this? That's good. Good. Actually, let's go back. Sorry. As we continue our inspection. Okay. The cliff sensor came out. Let's do this. Let's tuck. Okay, he was not tucked in correctly. So he will lift up. Kind of pry on this plastic in order to get it through. This came undone anyway. Let's get that in there. Good. Always a fidgety bit. You know, if I were thinking right now, yeah, there we go. That's so much better. Look at all that light. Look at all that beauty. Okay. These wires can go back home. gentle tug on these to straighten them out. The cliff sensor feels secure now, so we'll try, and this will give us a second attempt to see how fast it is to be sure. First of all, we tuck this from the get-go on our back tab there. Line this hole up first. Yes, look how quickly. I feel a pivot. Sorry. I feel my movements becoming faster. I'm excited to be reaching the end because this is the first robot I've ever worked on, and it would be very cool if this is the first robot you ever worked on either. This, yes, is where it belongs. I was worried I had something that did not belong there, but that's for our wheels. Haha. Not so bad. We will now put in our chunky T15s, starting in the back, which will help hold the top of this robot on. Kind of wiggle it around in there. There we go, until I feel the heads meet up. One's already there. Back go in our wheels. It's helpful here that they can only go in one way. But it did take a bit of fluxing my first time putting these in. Fluxing in this term being a way of saying weird movements and not flux as in soldering flux. It's helpful. Another T15 popped out. Speaking of flexing, we pay to be more ambidextrous, but I am not. I am blocking y'all's view, but this I think will be the best way. Dominant hand, same side. In we go. That's a firm clip. Let's make sure we stay tucked. Then turn just that once. This is the flexing I was talking about. Nice clean movement. This one already had T15 stuck in it. Thank you all for watching this far. I hope it has been helpful to you. This is for customers. I won't have this in much longer to do any corrections or to get better angles for people. So if there was something poorly done, I'm sorry, but that's probably the way it's going to be. But I will do my best. Get this in nice and straight. There we go. I wonder if I can't get a better video of this for you guys on this side. Let's see. So we have our locking tab. I'll line that shape up. Now that I've talked about it, I might not be able to. Can he do it? Boom. Okay. Well, again, we'll make sure this is tucked straight in, so I don't get the same problems that I did assembling it the first time. Apparently. Oh, knocked a cliff sensor off again. It's helpful it's going to have this wheel pressed up against it to keep it in place. And that's the air conditioner coming on again. Off and on it goes. Okay. I gotta tell you, I think I'm getting worse at fixing things. I don't find any spare parts anymore. I'm not gonna have a single screw left over. I don't know what to do with myself. Used to be when I was done fixing stuff, I'd have 2 or 3 little screws to add to my collection, but I'm so wasteful now. Just checking in on our video here, making sure that I've been focusing with my eyes instead of the camera. I want to be sure that it was still on target. Not too bad. Last screw. Last big screw, I should say. We got a couple more small ones. Oh, stick that. So that's big screwdriver aside. We should be done with him. Should be back to our hex 2. Let's go ahead and put these brushes on. Square alignment. Push this kind of squarish washer down there. Hold that steady. Let's move this here. And try to move into frame. Nope, not quite. Sorry, moving you guys. Get it all that way. And have to pop this tab back in. That's the wrong way, apparently. Well, cool. We can work this out together. Let's try it this way. That's a no. Is this a yes? That is looking like a yes. Yes. Nice and steady. That's gonna have a tab all its own. So I think this stage, back you up, recenter. Let's grab this and put it in frame. There's a lot of flashing lights, sorry about that. Good. Let's get it back in position. Again, we've got these tabs that help kind of line things up and keep a grip. Pinch and turn it over, let the weight of the vacuum itself help with this part. These tabs gonna line up. So he says, what does he really know though? See why a lot of YouTubers fast forward this part. It's not only fidgety, it's just time consuming. I think it actually takes more time in a lot of ways than the bigger, flashier repairs. It's just a little bit of work. getting everything in the right position takes so much time. This brush design was really cool. It slips right in, lines up. There we go. Okay.